Hello, welcome back. My name is Paul Castline. I am the elected constable for East Donegal Township in Lancaster County. Today we have Constable Chris Lee from Wayne County joining us to, we wanted to talk to you guys, kind of have a heart-to-heart. We've been getting a lot of comments and a lot of feedback, all positive, so thank you all very much. We're just here to try and help provide a lot of guidance where there really isn't a lot of. So watch this short video and we'll be right back.
Pennsylvania State Constables, first in law enforcement since 1664.
See battle like your pride. Oh, hunter, this is how legends are born. 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 Hunter, the kill makes you stronger, nothing will. See battle like your pride. Oh, hunter, this is how legends are born. This is how legends are born.
Pennsylvania State Constables, your local elected law enforcement officers.
So welcome back. Today we wanted to talk to you guys, kind of have a heart-to-heart. I wanted to start off by saying thanks again. We've gotten a lot of feedback, a lot of positive comments. A lot of constables have reached out to me from all over the state. Literally, like I said, places that I didn't even know existed, thanking us, asking us for the binder. Okay, yep. The binder's available through Christopher Lee. His information will be listed in the comments down below. So go ahead and take down that information, and you can hit him up, and he'll tell you how to get one of those binders. So Chris, one of the biggest things that I seem to find is that a lot of constables, they really need to go out and educate themselves. I mean, like, really go out and like find everything, which goes back to talking about the binder. They need to go out and get as much information as they can. I would say, especially before you go to basic training, if you're going to be a new constable right, that wants to come on board.
Yeah, there's lots of sources to pick up. Some are free, some you might have to purchase online, but the binder is a collection of statute and case laws, and also the state police handbook. It's 2,000 pages. That's a great source. You can pick that up used, or you can buy it brand new from LexisNexis. And I'd say the first 50 pages is a good place to start. Yeah.
So one of the things that I hear most commonly is constables are their own worst enemy, and that statement, it's so true. Constables are their own worst enemy. Take for instance, there's two sides to this opinion, or this battle, or whatever you want to call it, that's going on right now between, we'll say the left and the right, or the believers and the non-believers, whatever you want to call it. There's a group of us, a very large group now, and growing. I mean, how much have we grown in numbers as far as people who have stepped out of the shadows and been like, yeah, like I've been saying that, or I've been talking about that.
Dozens and dozens. I'm meeting a lot of new constables just calling me on the phone and thanking me for the binder, or asking questions, and I love talking to them. And a lot of guys coming out of the woodworks.
So Chris, one of the things, like we were saying is, constables are their own worst enemy. And, the reason why we say that is they're as I've said before, there's two sides. you have the constables that are from, like, been in the business for 20 some years, 30 some years, and you have those of us that have been in for, maybe 2 or 3 terms. I'll be honest, when I first started out, I had no idea what I was doing. There was a constable that I had talked to that kind of told me kind of how to get involved and how to go about it, and I did it. I got in and did the training, but we all know that there's no really like field officer training or on the job training. It's kind of a sink or swim, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think, well, you're creating good points. There should be an FTO program, and maybe that's something to discuss down the road. But yeah, trying to find resources is hard. When I started too, I didn't know who to listen to or where to read. I found some things on the internet, but you just didn't know, if it was legitimate or not.
So with that, the sink or swim, you got to kind of, figure out your own way, and that could be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. If we could just get everybody on the same page, there's these people that believe in this and these people that believe in that, and it's still at the end of the day, we're all still on the same team. I don't understand where well, they're doing something different, so we're going to go try to jam them up and get them in trouble. Well, no, I understand where it comes from. So you have the guys who have been in this forever, and they've created their own nice little kingdom. They get all the warrants they want, and they get all the civil service, civil process, landlord tenants that they want. They're in good with their county, they're in good with their judge, and anything that comes along that threatens to even remotely come close to messing with that, they're going to be a little, hey, don't do that. And they're going to be against us. And I can kind of understand that mentality. But at the end of the day, statute. You go to the Pennsylvania State Police Museum, and you go and you walk through there, and you're going to come to a display where there's a mannequin or a whatever you want to call it that has a uniform from way back, like 1904. I don't remember how far back it went, but on there it is one of the first Pennsylvania State Constabulary uniforms, and it says that Pennsylvania State Constabulary in the Pennsylvania State Police Museum. And then it goes on to talk about how, the state police then branched off to do the highway or the motor vehicle code, stuff like that, and whatnot. So the interesting thing here is, reverting back to what I was saying about how there's two sides, if you think about it, they branched off, they split off, but they never took away any of our authority or power.
Right.
They just branched off and started their own thing. Right?
Right.
So here we are, fast forward to this today. There's laws and statute, case law on the books that says that we are who we are, who we say we are. And we can operate the way that, we're saying that we can operate. And there's statute and case law and titles and rules that back that up. I've showed you in black and white, did we not?
Right. Which leads us up to where we are today.
Right. So, that's one of the things, so I don't really kind of understand why there's two different views on what it says, but there is. And, that's a problem. We need to solve that and at least work together. So, Chris, when we talk about coming together and being on the same team, we were talking about how there's, the one side and the other side. And I'm not really quite sure why there is, but there is. And the way I look at it, listen, we're all on the same team, okay? Whether you believe what we believe or you don't, what we're doing isn't going to hurt you, okay? All it's going to do is bring attention to the fact that there's stuff in law that constables are doing or attempting to do, and there may or may not need to be some sort of more definitive
or
answers.
Resurrecting what we used to do and bringing it back because the
But
Commonwealth.
how do you do that? How do you resurrect something that we used to do years and years ago and bring it into today's world?
Well, that's a good question. So why is that happening, and how do we do it? It's from the municipalities are asking us for help because now you have a gap in service across the state.
So you say municipalities? There's so
The people who
let me
elected
get this right.
the people who elected
Okay,
us.
well, right, but that's not everywhere. So
Right.
we can't say that that municipalities are asking us because it's not municipalities.
Right.
There might be a few here and there.
A few here and there, and that's because of the gap in service, because times are changing. It's not the same constabulary world that we live in as 30 years ago or 40 years ago or 50 years ago. So now it's like a trifecta. We have the warrant service has been established, peacekeeping has been going on, okay, and now you've got municipality issues coming out because of the need for the lack of service, and they're asking us for help. So we're trying to figure out how to do something that we've always done in the past today and bring that service back. And I think that's the issue.
So why do you think other guys are so resistant or hesitant to
Change.
want to jump on board?
Nobody likes change, I guess. So, it's like, what do we do now? So, yeah, I think that, researching the law and the statutes and seeing that the reason why the constabulary was formed was to put a peace officer close to every citizen of the Commonwealth. I think when you look at that from hundreds of years ago, that makes a lot more sense of where we are today and what the needs are for us today. So, we have to begin with that. So then you have to look at statute. What does the statute say?
Right. So with regards to why the change, or not the change, but why there is such a pushback? I don't.
I'm not sure. I mean, they don't understand. Maybe they're not clear with the law. It's possible.
So we just sat here over our past few videos, and we've put in black and white, which was very, I wouldn't say easy to find, but it wasn't really hard to find if you actually cared to go and look to educate yourself. There's people who I've shown this to.
Right.
The black and white, there wasn't any misinterpreting. It said what it said, and there are still people that wanted to argue or throw in their own 2 cents about it.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
they add their own words.
Most of the people I speak to are, from the same choir. So I would like to speak to people who are, maybe not on the same page or have issues with it, so we can start a conversation, because I haven't heard from those people yet, but I'm available. People want to reach out to me. I'm easy to find, so I'd love to.
Here again, that's why I said, if you look up your information, it's in the comments, your name and phone number. They can reach out to you and get that binder. And in that binder, we've spent 3 years?
3 years.
3 years
collecting,
compiling.
Yeah.
It's been a group effort. There's probably, I'll bet, a dozen people or so.
It wasn't easy to find. It came from me from all different sources, and as soon as I put it together, it all made sense. It's like all the information should be together, and you can't find a document like that for someone to bring to your attention. So now we have it, and it's being updated too, because I'm still getting more information.
We're always finding stuff.
I'm revising.
We're always finding stuff.
We're on our second revision already,
and you know what the best thing is too, that I find is awesome, is that now we have other constables that weren't a part of our group. They're finding things and either sending it to us or asking us about it and bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, exactly.
So now that the proverbial cat's out of the bag with this information, I find it very reassuring that we have constables from all across the state that are reaching out and commenting, and they're basically educating themselves, and they're seeing what we're saying. So it's kind of like I can see light at the end of the tunnel, but the unfortunate part is that we still have those constables out there that are just fighting this tooth and nail. And you know what? That's okay. Okay, that's okay. And I was asked, I was asked why I'm doing this. Why am I making a video? Why do I put myself out there, and so on and so forth. And I wish when I was a brand new constable, or even going through the last 13 years, I wish that I would have had something like this for me.
Absolutely. And that's why I made the binder, was it so no one has to go through 3 years of like digging through files and paperwork and old websites to find this information, that they can just have it and
Some of that stuff
empower
buried.
themselves. Yeah, it's buried. And and everybody knows we don't have the best training on our history. They don't train us on our own history, so that should be something that should be remedied.
Well, and we were. Someone was talking about this earlier, and I had seen an email or something that referenced it, but statutorily it says the PCCD has to train us. They have to provide the training,
right?
Or oversee the training. I'm not exactly sure how that says, but it doesn't say what training. Somebody, whenever this thing was created, as far as like the PCCD overseeing us, overseeing our training. Let's not get that confused. PCCD does not oversee us at all. They have absolutely zero say in how or what we do. They are basically the gatekeepers for the training, so to say. That is it. So don't get that confused, because a lot of people seem to be confused about where PCCDs, where they fit in the food chain with us.
Right.
And they're not even in the food chain with us. They're an accessory that oversees our training, and that's about it. But with regards to, I like to say it this way as to why or how I look at this. If you were a CEO, all right? If you were a CEO of a major corporation, statewide presence, right? Major corporation CEO.
Yep.
Why would you want to settle for working in the mailroom of your own business?
I don't understand. I would want to be moving up the ladder to the other departments.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay if you want to stay in the mailroom. It's your business. You can run it however you want. If you want to be large and in charge, or CEO, or the head of your agency,
but don't stop the guys who want to leave the mailroom and try to, move to other departments.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to advance or to better yourself, or to offer more, because you can. Right. But so, why do I want to be the top of the food chain when it comes to, my agency in this position, and settle for handing out papers or,
that's
delivering
another
mail?
That's another point.
I don't get it.
That's another point we should make. When you're elected constable, you are the chief of your agency, and that's not clarified in a lot of our training or in any of the documents you may pick up.
Well, they don't try, for whatever reason, they don't try to educate us that we are our own agency or our own entity. They there's no training for that. You kind of have to figure that out on your own.
Right.
But I don't want to be the head or the leader of my own team or my own agency and settle for working in a mailroom. I know it might be a weird analogy, but but think about it. So in talking about that, using that example of CEO and mailroom, nobody says that you have to do anything.
No.
I would just think that, the people who have a different opinion wouldn't be so, I want to say, mean about it or aggressive about it. Because there's some guys that are out there that are just downright they're trying to burn you. They're trying to burn you at the stake, and I don't understand that mentality, because we're all on the same team. You don't have to believe what I believe. You don't even have to operate or do the things that I'm doing or we're doing or whatever. If you're okay with just serving papers and just, doing evictions and whatever else, that's okay. I don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem with it
I don't think
either.
there's anything wrong with it. But
those are things that need to be done.
Yeah, and we're not saying that that's any less of a constable, or that's just what you choose to do. That's the nice thing about this position is you can either do as much or as least that you want to. We only have a few requirements, one of them being at the election, and the other one, So Chris, we were talking about this, this whole unity and CEO mailroom stuff. What I'm trying to say is it's okay if you want to just do certain things. You don't have to believe or do what we're doing. I'm okay with that. Are you? I mean, I don't care what someone else does.
No, I'm fine.
You could do. You want to stay there, fine. You want to try to progress and do and think outside the box and actually read and educate yourself and look and see what all other things you can do. Great, come on board. That's the other thing that that you need to understand is there's enough people now that are educated or learning, watching our videos. They're taking time to buy the binder, get it, go through it. I mean, there's a lot of people who have reached out and said that was very, very useful.
Yeah.
I really wish that people would take the time to learn before they would go to class.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And have a little bit of knowledge before you go in.
Yeah, that might, some of the feedback that the instructors might get, at the time might help curb some of that.
And each area that you're in is different, depending on what part of the Pennsylvania you're living in. It's like the needs for the constable services are not the same everywhere you go. So we understand that. We understand that everybody's got their own situation.
But but what I would expect, and what I'm asking is, those of you that believe that we're nothing more than process servers, or that if it's not on the fee bill, we shouldn't be doing it. That's fine. If you want to believe that, more power to you. We don't. And the people who are on our side, as far as understanding that they don't just have to settle for what has been being done or the way people have been operating for the last 50, however many years, they're starting to come out of the shadows and they're starting to educate and do things on their own that we're allowed to do, statutorily, that we believe.
Sure.
Those of you that believe differently, we would hope and expect that you're not going to put us down, belittle us, name call, try to get us arrested, make up crazy memes and put it on the internet. Like what is the point of that? Like, is that does it make you feel better that you're making fun of somebody? Like I don't get it. Like,
I don't get it either.
It's just
especially when citizens are asking for help and we're answering the call to that. It's not like we're making things up out of the blue. It's like,
it's a good point.
I'm answering the call to someone's request for help, so we're just trying to do the best we can.
Believe it or not, there are municipalities out there in Pennsylvania that have reached out to their constables and said, help us do this or help us do that. And that's because, they're lacking. And so there are some constables that are doing what they were elected to do or what that position was created to do. So why, I don't understand, one side of the state does it one way, one side does it the other way.
Yeah.
Nobody can agree to disagree on anything, and that's got to stop. I was talking to, I don't remember who it was, but they were explaining how, back before, all the PCCD and, the separation, or they oversaw our training is that, did you know that there was like one large constable association or constable group in the state that everybody was a member of, or had to, most everybody was a member of?
Well, I wish it was that way again.
Yeah, well, I know. And I know that there have been people that have been trying to put something together, and that's great. Keep it up, because that's what we need. We all don't have to hang out and go to barbecues or go out and have dinner with one another, or we don't. But we should respect each other's opinion or their view or whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to put you down just because you want to just serve papers. I would expect you not to put me down because I'm trying to explore what statutorily it says that we can do. I've shown you already that what it says, so you should at least be willing to admit that what we're saying is plausible. We believe it's true, but you should be able to say that it's plausible. So one of the other things I wanted to talk to you guys about is our level of professionalism, appearances, standards. I think we can all agree that one of the arguments or biggest concerns or issues that other agencies have with us is that they say that we're not professional, or we're not trained. We have no training. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, that's a criticism you get that repeats itself. Yeah.
So I recently have formed what we're calling a PCERT, Pennsylvania Constable Emergency Response Team. And to be on that team, the purpose of that team, first of all, is going to be a deployable resource for municipalities or areas that exceed their local resources, and they need some outside help. Right now, that's in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm already on a local emergency management resource manual for me and my guys to deploy or be called upon if needed. So with that being said, and this just doesn't go for that team. This goes for constables across the board. At least it should be.
Yeah, I mean, every constable has 3 general audiences, and that's the public, criminals, and other law enforcement. And so you have only one chance at a first impression to those 3 audiences once you step out to do your job.
Right. And so with that being said, one of the things that I'm going to be implementing, or one of the requirements to be a part of PCERT, is you're going to have to meet certain standards. We keep talking about standards and this and that and the other thing, but there really hasn't been too much that's been done. I know some counties or some associations have kind of put something together, or you have to have certain things, and that's great, for that area. But I'm trying to do something that's a little bit more broader spectrum. So for my team, and this isn't just limited to guys who are part of my business. So if you're new, or you're looking to pick up some side work, my business, we're always looking for guys to join the team. But as far as like professionalism and standards, we're going to have, it's going to be some pretty decent, you're going to have some trainings, you're going to have some certifications, a standard uniform. We're going to be doing background checks. There's going to be, you have to get a physical signed off by a doctor, because think about this, we're going to be deploying to areas where there's an issue.
Right.
For us to be called upon, apparently but there will have been a large incident or whatever that they needed to call upon us.
I have to do some more push-ups, Paul.
Yeah, you better build up your strength, buddy. But me personally, I don't want to have to worry about sending somebody from a team out somewhere and then, they have this training, or, I hope they don't do this, or they wear the right uniform. I want them to be able to represent, my company, and the constabulary in a manner that there isn't going to be any question of who they are and what they can do.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm going to strongly suggest that everybody kind of get on board with this. The days of wearing jeans and a t-shirt with a badge hanging around your neck.
And flip-flops.
Yeah, I know, right? Flip-flops, of all things. Like, they need to be over. Like that, I'm not criticizing, but I'm just saying that doesn't project a very professional image at all. And if we want to be taken seriously, one of the first things that we're also going to have to do is going to be able to change our image.
Mm-hmm. Hawaiian shirts, got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say what the uniform should be. All of my guys on my team, they're going green. OD green pants, OD green shirt or black shirt, or OD green vest and black vest. I gave them the option because they had black shirts, and trying to make them all buy brand new. Green and black or green and green, that looks really, So Chris, I know we keep harping on the coming together, and I really can't stress that enough. There's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that a lot of people aren't aware of, and that we're not really at the point yet to divulge, all that information. But it's kind of funny because here's something that has happened. If you go on these Facebook pages and you look when somebody posts something controversial or they say something, you'll go in there and you'll see like 80 to 90 comments all getting blasted, right? They're on both sides, the positives and negatives, right? We posted these videos where we had shown people undeniable black and white proof. And you know how many comments were on these Facebook pages for those?
No.
Maybe 10, maybe 15.
Well, it's small.
Yeah, not a lot. Because when you provide somebody with proof or evidence, it doesn't really give anybody any wiggle room
right.
to go against it. So what are they going to say? You
right.
provided the evidence right in front of you.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that everybody can look at this and say, hey, listen, we need to come together as a team, stop bashing each other. Personally, I'm tired of being bullied. I'm tired of being harassed. I am tired of being kicked. I'm tired of the oppression. These agencies. How are agencies who obviously have no idea who we are or what we do, how are they going to come out and tell me what I can and can't do when they have no idea what they're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious. I've asked somebody, hey, what do you think about this or this or that? And I provide them the proof. I provide them a document, and they don't have an answer.
Right.
What have you run into? Have you had to try to prove or show somebody something, and then when you show it to them?
Well, yeah, I have done that. I have shown people who've...
And they're just like...
Right, yeah.
Got their blinders.
Well,
like,
actually...
I don't see it. It's not there.
One guy put his hands up in the air and said, okay, you win. You got me. And sometimes you get that reaction. They're surprised that they were wrong. But at least they admit they're wrong. So, yeah.
Well, some people, they just can't.
Well, there's those individuals
reason,
as well.
There are people that just can't admit they're wrong, or they're not even willing to accept, not so much that they're wrong, but they're not willing to say that they'll agree to disagree.
They're going to double down on the wrongness. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, and so, so listen, here's a few things we need to look at. A, the videos that I'm making and that we're providing you with the information, while it's factual information, okay, you need to know that I'm not telling you to run out and do all this stuff, okay? We need to play the long game, okay? If we want to make change, first and foremost, we need to come together as a team.
Help us help you.
Yeah, we can't do this on our own. And there's more and more people that are jumping out here and they're coming on board, but it's a slow process. So take these videos and share them. Share.
Yeah, share with everybody.
Send these to everybody because we're providing factual stuff here. It's not opinion.
It's not opinion.
We say something, I show you. So share it because that's the only way we're going to get everybody to kind of be like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Yep. So the other side of it is in order for us to move forward in this, what we're trying to do, like it's going to take everybody. Here again, you don't have to believe or do what we're doing, but at least support us. Yeah. And those of you that are hiding in the shadows and secretively supporting us or saying that you agree with us, like you're not doing us really any favors or anybody any favors. Like come out, step out.
Right.
Like, aren't you tired of being harassed and bullied? Like, I for one, I don't like being oppressed at all. It sucks, and there's a lot of it going on. And the only way that we're going to stop it is if we all come together and we put a stop to it together. So listen, in closing, I just want to ask that everybody just come together. I'm just asking that everybody just come together and let's try to work together the best that we can to make these changes. I don't see how, like, again, I don't see how there's two different opinions, but
Make it a constabulary.
you know, it is what it is. You know, we were the original.
Yep.
We gave birth to the Pennsylvania State Police.
First in law enforcement.
We were. You know, I don't understand why people want to kick us around and belittle us. So here again, the only way we're going to be able to change anything is if you guys come on board and help. You know, stop being bullied. Stop being harassed. Stop being put down. Stop being oppressed. You know, come out. Enough is enough. I know I've had enough.
Yeah.
That's why I don't care. You know, I'm doing everything that I can, and I'm doing it by the book. Because if I wasn't, don't you think I would have been arrested? Or all these other officers where threats were made against them, don't you think that they would have been arrested or cited? You know? So, just
Get empowered.
yeah, learn, read,
Read,
educate
study.
yourself. That is the most powerful thing that you can do, is read
Absolutely.
and educate. Read, and educate yourself.
Case law. State case law.
Get a
Federal
hold of
case
Chris.
law.
Ask for the binder. You know, Chris's information is in the comments down below. And please like and share this page, this channel. Like and share it. More people that know about it, the more, power, more support, we're going to gain. And maybe hopefully here in the near future we can start, really making some headway. We got the train rolling. The momentum's there. Now we just got to start, getting that where it can't be stopped. And the only way we're going to do that is with you. So come out and help us. We really appreciate it. Here again, like and share, and stay tuned for some of the next episodes. Take care and God bless.